Alright, so this is the OnePlus 9R, and today's video is actually going to be rather interesting because I'm not just going to ramble over the specs and facts and stuff like that. There will be some in the middle of the video, of course, that I can assure you. But for the most part, it will be something different, something interesting, which I'm sure you guys will enjoy because I'm going to share a story as to why I came by this device and why I decided to purchase this in the end after considering many options that you guys had recommended. So stick till the end to find out why I went with the OnePlus 9R in 2022. So it all started around 6 years ago when OnePlus launched the OnePlus 3, a magnificent phone with a beautiful design loaded with Oxygen OS and top-notch specs with a very attractive price point of around 30,000 Indian rupees or $500. And during that time, I was just an engineering student with absolutely zero money in my pocket, hoping that one day when I get a job, the first thing I'll spend my money on will be a OnePlus smartphone. Now, a lot of things have happened to the universe in the last 5 to 6 years or so, which also includes the fact that OnePlus have ever so slightly increased the prices of their devices. But as a result, their once termed flagship killers have actually started becoming real flagships. Alright, so fair enough, OnePlus have now started making flagships only. And among the 6, the 7s, 8s and 9s, the phone I was really drawn into was the OnePlus 8T that was launched in 2020. And it had everything, a great design loaded with specs and a beautiful 120Hz display while still not demanding an exorbitant amount of money. So now it's quite evident why many of my favorite YouTubers like Zachary Anderson or even Sam Beckman have all made revisit videos of the OnePlus 8T, because it was that good of a phone. Alright, so if you made it this far into the video, I hope you understand that I have a certain admiration to some of the products that OnePlus makes as a company. Not all their products, absolutely not, because some of them I believe are not worth the amount of money that they're asking for. Yes, but there are some products that I believe are actually really good and I can recommend you guys the same. Alright, so for the past 2 years or so, my primary smartphone was a Samsung Galaxy A50s. Yes, I've been using a smartphone with Samsung's infamous Exynos 9611 for the last 2 years or so. A moment of silence for me, please. So yeah, that particular smartphone started showing its age and I was in need of a desperate upgrade. Now if you ask me why I went with a Samsung device back then, well actually there are a couple of reasons for that. And the first thing will definitely have to be the peace of mind ownership that comes with a Samsung device of not rushing it to the service center every now and then. And actually that was quite true because the phone that I owned, the Samsung Galaxy A50s, I never had to rush to the service center for one single time. So Samsung makes some really good devices which are quite reliable in that sense. And the other thing that I would mention is probably the knock security feature, because me being a software engineer, I also have to have some apps in my phone that require a secure device and not something that is easily rootable. So Samsung devices provided that feature, so I bought that Samsung A50s back then. And the phone also shipped with One UI, which was much better than TouchWiz, but boy did it change badly over the last few years or so. Samsung started incorporating ads just like MIUI in their phones, started installing apps without my permissions, and that is entirely the opposite of what I call a good customer experience. So there goes all my trust and faith in all the Samsung mid-ranger devices, and now you guys know why I excluded Samsung when I asked you guys about my next smartphone. So let's talk about that for a moment, shall we? So I posted on Twitter asking you guys for recommendations on my next smartphone, and I actually got some really good responses on that. Apart from some ones that actually made me question my sanity. But yeah, at the end of the day, I received some really good responses from you guys, and after doing a lot of R&D from my end, I actually settled with the OnePlus 9R. Now this phone is essentially the OnePlus 8T with an overclocked processor, but it has everything that I ever wanted as an upgrade from my A50s. It has a flagship processor, the Snapdragon 870, and 2 more gigs of RAM, which when paired with the 120Hz HDR10 Plus AMOLED display just flies through my daily activities and social networking, and using this phone feels like pure butter. Now coming to the software side of things, the OnePlus 9R came with Oxygen OS 11 based on Android 11, which is definitely not the latest and greatest, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Now a quick point to note here is that this is probably the last version of Oxygen OS that we can consider as true Oxygen OS, because all the other versions that are going to be coming after this are all going to be based on Color OS. So it's not going to be the same, and I in fact have to install it on my OnePlus 9R as well, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm all out of options. If you check the forums over at XDA, you'll already find a lot of Android 12 ROMs like Pixel Experience for the 9R, and considering how easy it is to unlock the bootloader of OnePlus devices, it's actually something I'm looking forward to and prefer over having multiple 5G bands and better optics just for the sake of specs. Alright, coming to the cameras, I know that the 9R is infamous for its average camera quality, but it doesn't matter to me that much because I do not shoot that much with my smartphone, but I will still test out the 9R's camera and find out if they are actually that bad. So to be honest, the OnePlus 9R actually ticks a lot of my boxes, and the real cherry on top is the price I got it for. It might not be a phone for everyone, but this is definitely a great option for me. Okay, so now to conclude whether you should be getting the OnePlus 9R in 2022, it's kind of tricky to answer that right now because the OnePlus 9 RT will be launching in a few days from now, and it's basically the same as the OnePlus 9R, the only difference having the better chipset, the Snapdragon 888 processor, and it also comes with Oxygen OS 12 or rather Color OS 12. Now on paper, the Snapdragon 888 is much more powerful, but as much as I'm aware, the Snapdragon 888 also throttles a lot compared to the 870, which is considered a much more stable processor. And Oxygen OS 12 is also not that much exciting to me at least, so if I were you, I would go and invest in the 9R, especially if you get it at the price I got it. It's actually a good deal. But if you're a person who is into gaming or stuff like video editing on their phones or stuff like that, then I would lean you towards the OnePlus 9 RT, which will be launched around the 40 to 42k price mark. That will be a better choice for you, I guess. And even then, I believe that the OnePlus 9R and the OnePlus 9 RT will still remain the most value for money options in the entire OnePlus 9 series. Alright, so that's about it for this video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed watching it. A lot of videos are planned for the OnePlus 9R, so definitely stay tuned for that. And yes, your brother still has the Redmi Note 10 with him, so don't worry. A lot more videos on Android customization and custom ROMs are incoming, so stay tuned for that as well. Subscribe to the channel and definitely turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on a single upload. So this is me Rohit signing off. I'll see you guys in my next video, and thank you so much for watching.